Good morning, everyone. Yoga gozaimasu. Namaste. It is I, Gina Louisa. Whew, here once again this morning. It's warm. Humid. You take that off. Here in Rhode Island. Here once again this morning. I'm just helping to raise the vibration of our collective consciousness. It's Sunday today. Good Sunday to everyone. And it's the, excuse me, let's get on. It's the 18th day of September of 2016. Let's give it a move. And my hair is a total mess. I sleep with my hair on top of my head like this to keep it from going, you know, if you've got hair like mine, and there's lots of it, you know. And if I sleep with it down, I wake up looking quite like Rosanna Diana, Rosanna Diana, yeah. So I usually keep it up on top of my head, and I just, you know, kind of rolled out of bed, made myself some coffee, and said, hey, good morning, because such beautiful energies. Really, it's just so awesome. Let me take a sip of my coffee. And my son busts my balls because I've graduated from a cup of coffee to a jar. Mom, how many of those have you had this morning? He says to me, which he will say when he comes in later on this morning. But anyway, yes, Gina Louisa drinks coffee in the morning. And probably lemonade or water for the rest of the day. But anyway, the energies of today are just beautiful and cozy and wonderful. Wow, it's like say, you know, when you're pulling off a band-aid, you know, and we've been having this awful thing coming off like, ouch, ouch, bitch, ouch, oh no, you know, every last hair is just so, oh, and then that last one, it always seems to be a real pincher, doesn't it, that last little hair that comes off. But it feels like this nipping of that last little hair or something, you know, like it's finally let go. And I'll explain what I mean. Or like, remember Fern Gully, you know, and there was Nexus, you know. And then they finally got Nexus in the tree again. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's how it feels. I see no more signs of Nexus. Nexus is going down. My beautiful fairy world is putting him back in the tree now. It's so beautiful that everybody is aware. All right? We are aware. We are awakened now. We are life. We are nature growing, putting Nexus away. We have Mr. Trump. Yay, Mr. Donald Trump, right? Isn't he wonderful? The leaders of the world know Mr. Trump is going to be good for the whole world. The leaders of the world see this, right? We got to listen to the other leaders of the world who say, whoa, you know, no more Hillary Clinton, no more anything. Donald Trump is going to be good for this whole world. Yay. We've got people like, oh my God, the Alex Jones show, right? And all the things to do with the Alex Jones show, the InfoWars and all of those, right? And excuse me if I don't know everyone's name of the commentators, but you're all thumbs up in my book, all right? And they even the boxer who was on just the other day, Tim Kennedy, I believe your name is. I hope I got your name right. Namaste to you, my right? That is an example of a man on this earth You have my respect, sir. You really do. Every one of you. I want to shake your hand. I want to pat you on the back. Mr. Alex Jones, every day you dedicate your whole life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And men like that. And people like that. Okay? Who dedicate their lives. And like, now I am, like I said, unemployed because of my YouTube video. So, okay, now I'm going to dedicate my life to the world. This is what God asked of me anyway when I started this. God said, I want you to share your atmosphere with the world, Gina. And I was like, what? you shut who and the what now? You know, you're right, exactly. Excuse me? But right, okay, so I just started. I don't know. I'm clairvoyant. We'll try a little bit of card reading, all right? And then I keep the card readings now only for the monthly horoscope things. And I used to do card reading in the morning, but God wanted me to just to like, you know, connect with the straight energies in the morning and do like I'm doing now. So that's what I've been doing. I pick up my guitar for you. I play the keyboard for you. I paint. And I go, and that's what I do. And I don't have much room. I try to dance a little bit for you. But boy, if you really see me go off, like spinning, like my Walks on Eggs book, Walks on Eggs that I wrote, and I drew, and you know, of course. But it's an autobiography, you know, and that's what's true. And hopefully soon I will be able to show you more of me, you know. To really see me is to see me in nature, right? That's to really see me. To see me tending nature and dancing around and flitting around and doing and doing and doing and doing and making and making and doing and making and tending and caring and and that's me. Pretty soon, right? Pretty soon, I have it in my head, a farm. And I spend all my time up here in that farm. So very shortly that farm's going to have to, it'll settle into this life. Because that's how life works, okay? So I see it, and I see it, and I do it, and I make it. And I want to bring everyone along on the internet with me, okay? So yeah, today maybe is one of those, I'm showing, it is Sunday after all, where God is helping introduce this energy of God through me to you and teach you how to do it. Okay, let's all do it together, you know. And people say, oh, if it's real, how come you don't already have it then? Well, I'll tell you. I had never in my life before invited it. Okay, I'd done just the opposite. Quite frankly, I always invited austerity. Okay, I always invited austerity. Okay, perhaps I was born into a family of not you know, extreme privilege, but privilege. Okay, I was, you know, a house in the suburbs, and the first car I drove was a Mercedes Benz. Ew, right? But it's the truth. Oh, it was beautiful too. It was the on the outside, it was the color of, like, you know, like a German chocolate cake mix. If you take a German chocolate cake mix and you dump it out in the bowl vat, when it's dry, that was the color of the outside, right? And if you add your water to that German chocolate cake mix and you mix it, that color was the color of the interior, right? I loved that car. It was a good car. But anyway, so I was brought up in that, and then as so, you know, I can remember I used to put on, you know, like the worst, you know, knapsack looking clothes I could find and go barefoot and want bread and water and my poor mother, you know, really, because you have a little girl in this privileged life and you want to doll her up and you know, give her jewelry and patent leather shoes. My mother, you wanted to dress me up like a little girl or be a girl, you know, and give me, you know, jewelry and things. And I was like, she wound up with like, I don't know, like Joan of Arc or something. Yeah, excuse me, but you know what I'm saying. She wound up with you know, little Gandhi or I just didn't see any worth in anything but the sunshine and the grass and the trees and the, you know, she wound up with a little Hiawatha. It really is more to the point. Me being, I do have Native American in me. My father's mother, right? Her mother was full-blooded. And she's told a story about her village being slaughtered when she was a little girl. And they put all the children on a boat. She said, and the conditions of that trip were awful. Were awful. But she survived it, and she made it to a place where she was sold. And then she said after that they put her on a boat. But it was a different kind of boat. It was very nice. You know, she even had like a bed and stuff, you know. And very nice people bought her. And she grew up in Italy. And then I guess did very well when she married. She married a man who was, I guess, a magistrate of the Amalfi Coast, which is where I get my last name that I grew up with, you know. Amalfitano means we are from Amalfi. We are of Amalfi, you know. But anyway, so that I have that Native American blood in me, and I can remember when talking. My grandmother happened to be visiting. She was on the couch, and I was talking to my mother about, you know, how I talk to the trees and the spirits and stuff like that. And my mother always used to call me crazy, and my grandmother, you're not crazy. Don't let them think you're crazy. And then my mother had yelled at me that day for running around barefoot. Always barefoot. And she said something about, oh, like some wild Indian. And my grandmother, I never heard my grandmother ever pipe up. All right, she was just very quiet around us. Never really got interfered with what my mother and father were doing. You know? But she piped up that day, and she said with her with her finger, "Don't you ever?" I can remember her. "Don't you ever feel bad?" She said about you being a barefoot. She said, "Then the Indians they're not wild." She said, "No, great people, my people." And I looked at him like, "Grandma?" You know, she's like, "You didn't." "My own mother," she said, "my own mother was a full-blooded a Native American woman." And she told me the story about the village being slaughtered and the story her mother told her. And at that moment, I was like, I wasn't just playing Indian, you know, oh, wait a minute. Little big man, right? I was not just playing Indian. I was living Indian. Okay? So, in my mind as a little kid, you know, when we played outside, you know, little kids always play, I was always the Indian. You know? I was always the Indian. And I would, you know, read the signs and track and listen to the wind. And in my heart, I always as we watched the shows on TV, I was always the Indian. You know, I was always saying, hey, you know, how unfair, and I want to know more about the Indian. I was always so interested in the Indians, you know. When I saw a little big man, it was like, yes, definitely, I'm the Indian, you know. And when my grandmother told me that you are, honey, my own mother, she said to me, my own mother was full-blooded Native American woman. You know, when she said my mother, Indian was the word she used, you know. My mother was full-blooded Indian, she said. I was like, huh? Yeah. She said, yeah, that's why I'm even here in America. Because when my grandmother was 16, she said, when I was 16, my father finally had enough of money. It bought my mother's freedom. Bought the freedom and could come back to America, right? But her mother herself was too sick. She could never return. She died in Italy. But she sent her family back. She sent the kids back. With the husband, with her Italian husband, he brought her children back to the land of America so my feet could be on my Native American soil, right? And here we are now. in this time. The Goddess Shaman, her feet are on her Native American soil, with my ancestors in the sky. And their souls in the land. Like that poem of mine, maybe it says, envision I. Okay, this is what I am, the Goddess Shaman. I envision and make it come into the world. Okay, so envision I. Where pavement once was, grass for miles and miles and miles. Okay, and happy herds meander through orchards and groves and gardens. And the air and the water, so fresh and crisp and clean. And smiles twinkle in every eye seen. The marks on my feet and the coat on my back recall to my mind the day of hunt and track. The faces of the people as we gathered that night to eat, right? The laughter, the music, the taste of the meat, spirit of the animal, having known him from afar, to seeing his regal stature as I took his life that dawn. I remember the feel of his warmth on my hand, turned to cold as his spirit rejoined with the land. And I feel this spirit inspire my soul. So I walk my path, envisioning this goal. Here I am, Gina Louisa, here for you all. Yes, I'm not a dreamer. I'm a creator. We are not dreamers, people. We are creators. As you envision, so you create. We are in the Armageddon. It's so awesome. We're watching tyranny. We're watching the hold of oppression that's had us for 13,000 years. We'll say 13,000. It really started to dig in, right? 13,000 years ago. And it's going down now. Isn't it cool? We can watch it all happen, right? We're watching, they really think they had a hope. They really, just like the Bible said. Just like the Bible said. Those who think they have the power will realize they are completely powerless. All right? And those of us who thought we were powerless will realize we are the creators. And we the meek, we inherit this earth. Okay, I'm not going to call Donald Trump meek, right? We're not meek in that way. But we are. Like, I have a poem that says, my guts are rumbling, Lord. When there's not, like a volcano, right? My guts are rumbling like a volcano. When there's nothing left to do but explode. But just a seed whose life is about to take hold and transform the universe innocently and bold. Happy Sunday, everyone. Namaste. I love you all. I love you all. And I will be here in the morning. Count on it. God's willing.